ever scroll through those online mortgage calculators? You know, the ones that spit out how much house you can actually afford.
Right.
And then you get hit with that down payment number.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, okay, maybe home ownership's on hold for a bit.
Yeah, it can be a daunting figure for sure.
Yeah, but today we're diving into a world where that number might just shrink dramatically or even vanish.
Oh, tell me more.
That's right, we're talking VA loans.
Ah, music to many ears.
You're in the right place if you're looking to really unpack this whole VA loan thing, because we're going deep.
Deep dive, let's go.
All right, so what makes these loans so different, so unique?
Well, it's really about who's standing behind you, or rather, behind the loan.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
With a VA loan, you've got the Department of Veterans Affairs, the VA, basically vouching for you with the lender.
It's like having a powerful ally in your corner.
Exactly. And that backing, well, it translates into some pretty sweet perks for borrowers.
And when we say perks, we're talking potentially life-changing stuff, right?
Absolutely. And it often starts with that dreaded down payment.
Okay, so with a conventional loan, you're often looking at saving a good chunk of the home's price, right? Like 20%, sometimes even more.
That's the standard, yeah.
But with a VA loan, that requirement might completely disappear.
Oof. Gone.
Making home ownership accessible so much sooner.
It's a game changer for so many.
Absolutely. But hold on, there's more.
Oh, there's always more.
We got to talk about this thing called PMI.
Yes. Private mortgage insurance. Not so fun.
No, not so much. Basically, it's this extra payment you make every month on top of your regular mortgage if you don't put down that magical 20%.
Right. It's basically insurance for the lender, just in case you stop making payments.
And it can really eat into your budget.
It adds up for sure.
But
This is the good part.
VA loans say bye-bye to PMI.
More money stay in your pocket every single month. That's like a built-in discount on your mortgage.
Okay, so far we've got no down payment, no PMI.
And don't forget about those potentially lower interest rates.
Right, because that VA guarantee isn't just good for peace of mind. It can actually save you serious money in the long run.
Thousands, potentially tens of thousands, over the life of the loan.
It's pretty incredible when you think about it. But these benefits, they didn't just appear out of thin air, did they?
No, not at all. They're rooted in a deep respect for those who served.
Tell me more about that.
Well, the VA loan program, it actually emerged from the GI Bill after World War II.
Wow, so it's been around for a while.
It has. And the goal back then was to help veterans transition back to civilian life.
Homeownership being a huge part of that.
Absolutely. It was, and still is, seen as a path to stability and building a future.
A powerful legacy for sure. But here's something that might surprise some folks. These benefits, they're not just for veterans.
That's right. We're talking active duty service members, certain members of the National Guard and Reserves.
Don't forget about surviving spouses.
Absolutely. A really important group to remember.
It's about recognizing the service of families, not just the individual, which is really important.
Couldn't agree more.
But before anyone gets any ideas, we do need to address the elephant in the room.
Okay, I'm listening.
Service requirements, they exist, and they're important.
They are. The length and type of service you need to be eligible, it varies.
So no weekend warrior trips are going to cut it, huh?
Unfortunately, no. But if you're unsure, the best thing to do is check your eligibility. That's where the Certificate of Eligibility, the COE, comes in.
It's your golden ticket to accessing these incredible benefits.
Think of it like your VIP pass.
I like it. Okay, so we've covered what makes VA loans unique, who might be eligible, but let's be honest, there are some myths floating around out there.
Oh, there are always myths, aren't there?
Right, and we've all heard them. VA loans, they take forever to close, good luck qualifying, and those appraisals, forget about it, they'll kill the deal. But are these just myths?
Well, let's put on our Mythbusters hats and find out.
I love it. Myth number 1, VA loans, they take forever to process.
Okay, I'll bite. What's the reality? The reality is processing times. They're often pretty comparable to conventional loans.
So it's not about the VA dragging their feet.
Not at all, especially if you're working with a lender who knows VA loans like the back of their hand.
Find the right dance partner for that mortgage process. Okay, myth number 2, VA loans are super strict. Good luck actually getting approved.
Oh, this one gets people tripped up all the time. Because here's the thing, VA loans, they can actually be more flexible in certain areas.
Really? Tell me more.
So take credit score, for example. With a conventional loan, one little dip, and you might be out of luck.
Right. It can feel like they're just looking for a reason to say no.
Exactly. But VA loans, they tend to take a wider view.
So they're considering the whole picture, not just a single number.
Exactly. They'll look at your history of managing finances, your overall financial stability. They dig a little deeper.
They want the full story. All right, myth number 3. This is the big one. VA appraisals. Brutal. They'll tank the deal for sure.
I get why people say that. The appraisals are thorough. There's no doubt about it.
But is that necessarily a bad thing?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because remember, a thorough appraisal, it's not just about protecting the lender.
It's about protecting the buyer, too.
Exactly. They want to make sure that the property is valued fairly.
That it's a sound investment for everyone involved.
Exactly. Think of it like having an extra set of eyes, someone looking out for any potential issues you might have missed.
An extra layer of protection. I like it. Okay, so we've tackled some of those persistent myths, but now let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about the types of VA loans that are out there, because it's not a one-size-fits-all situation, is it?
Not at all. There are options for different needs, different goals.
Like what? Give us the rundown.
All right, so we'll start with the foundation, the OG, if you will, the purchase loan. This is your classic VA loan designed specifically for buying a home.
Makes sense. You find the house, you get approved, you start packing those boxes.
Exactly. Then we've got the cash-out refinance loan. Now, this one's particularly interesting because it lets you tap into the equity you've built up in your home.
So if you've been diligently making those mortgage payments, you might be sitting on a gold mine and not even know it.
It's true. And with the cash-out refinance, you can access that equity.
So we're talking cold, hard cash here.
Yeah, it can be a pretty substantial lump sum depending on your equity. And the best part, you can use it for pretty much anything.
Anything. Okay, now you've got my attention. Give us some examples. What are people actually using this for?
Oh, the possibilities are endless. Paying off high-interest debt. Check. Finally tackling those dream home renovations you've been putting off. Double check.
It's like a financial do-over.
It can be. And here's one that might surprise you. Some folks are even using these loans to fund their kids' education or even to start their own businesses.
Wow, so it's not just about the house itself. It's about leveraging that home equity to pursue bigger goals.
Exactly. And there are some amazing stories out there. You know, the Unlocking the Benefits of VA Loans guide we have for you, it actually features a veteran who used a cash-out refinance to start their own bakery. It's incredible.
Oh, that's what I call sweet success. Okay, so we've got purchase loans. We've got cash-out refinancing. What's next on our VA loan adventure?
All right, last but not least, we have the IRRL.
The what now?
Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful, the Interest Rate Reduction Refinance Loan.
Catchy.
Tell me about it. Right. But don't let the name scare you off, because it's basically a streamlined refinance option, specifically for folks who already have a VA loan.
Okay, so if you're already in the VA loan game, this could be your chance to, level up?
Precisely. So let's say interest rates have dropped since you got your original mortgage. This could be your ticket to snagging a lower rate and potentially saving a ton of money in the long run.
Lower monthly payments? Yes, please. So many options. But with all these choices, how do our listeners know which one's right for them? So many paths to choose from, but that's where a little expert guidance comes in handy, right?
Absolutely. This is where you want to roll up your sleeves and really do your research.
So even though it's a VA loan, not all lenders are created equal.
Exactly. Interest rates, closing costs, even just their experience with VA loans, it can all vary.
Shop around, do your homework, find the right fit for you.
Couldn't agree more. And speaking of things to look out for, there's this thing called the funding fee.
Ah, yes, the funding fee. Sounds a little intimidating. It can sound like that, but it's really not that complicated.
Break it down for us. What is it?
It's basically a percentage of the loan amount, and it goes right back into supporting the VA loan program itself.
So you're kind of paying it forward for future generations of service members.
Exactly. It helps keep this amazing program running. And the good news is, in many cases, you can actually roll that fee right into the loan itself. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a huge upfront expense. Okay, last myth we got to bust, because I've heard this one a lot. People think you only get to use your VA loan benefit once, and then that's it, you're done.
Yeah, that's a common misconception. But the truth is, it's not a one-and-done deal.
Wait, really? So you could potentially use this benefit multiple times?
You absolutely could. Let's say you bought your first home with a VA loan, right? Yeah. And then a few years down the line, interest rates drop.
Which, let's be real, that's the dream.
Right. So you could refinance into a new VA loan with a lower rate, Potentially save a bunch of money.
Or maybe your financial situation changes and you need to access some of that sweet, sweet home equity you've built up.
Exactly. Cash out refinance comes to mind.
Again, potentially taking advantage of those VA loan
It's
benefits.
about recognizing that your needs might change over time,
Mm,
and the VA loan benefit, it's designed to be flexible right alongside you.
I love that. So it's not just a transaction, it's a relationship, it's an ongoing opportunity.
Beautifully said. And I think that gets to the heart of what makes these loans so special. They're not just about crunching numbers. They're about opening doors.
To homeownership, to financial stability, to building the future you envision for yourself, for your family.
And sometimes all it takes is that little spark of information, that little nudge, to realize that those doors, they might be closer than you think.
You've heard it here, folks. VA loans, they're not just a benefit, they're a possibility. So if you've been on the fence, if you've been thinking about buying home but thought it was out of reach, I hope this deep dive has sparked a new sense of, well, hope.
Don't let those misconceptions hold you back. Talk to a lender. Get your questions answered. See if a VA loan is the right fit for you.
Knowledge is power, and now you've got it. We've armed you with the info. Now go out there and make it happen. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, happy house hunting.